Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about my July TBR, not my June TBR. And I also wanted to address something that I haven't so far in my videos. I had made a video talking about resources and books about this subject, especially considering the current events, but I decided not to post it because uplifting Black voices just matters more. And there are so many Black creators whose voices and recommendations are so much more impactful and so much more relevant. But I do want to say that this channel absolutely condemns racism, and Black Lives Matter, and uplifting Black voices also matters. In videos before this one, I've linked in the description box down below some links to help the Black Lives Matter movement, and also some links that will help inform and educate those of you who are looking for more information. In my previous videos in the description box below, I've put down links on how you can donate and support Black-owned businesses and the Black Lives Matter movement. And in today's description box, you'll find those links again, and you'll also find some more resources if you are looking to educate yourself. I'll also link videos that will offer further education from other creators, namely Black creators that have helped provide these resources in a video format. So please click down below and you will find those resources there for you. And if you have any questions, let me know. So with that said, I will jump into my July TBR. So the first book I'm going to talk about is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I was supposed to read this one last month and probably in the month of April, and I still haven't read this. I want to start off reading thrillers with some YA because I heard these are more soft than the adult versions, and I know that everyone and their mother has heard about A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, so I'm not going to go into the synopsis, but just know that I want to read this. The other two I wanted to talk about were graphic novels. The first one is Witchy, which if you get the Owl Crate box, you will have gotten this in your May Owl Crate. And the other one is Monstrous Volume 2. Now you probably heard me rave about this Volume 1 before, and I'm reading the second one. It is a high fantasy story about different types of magic being at war with each other and different types of magic factions. The artwork in this graphic novel is another reason why I've been so pulled in. Hopefully you can see. It's just beautiful. The colors are really dark but still really colorful, and the art just completely pulls me in and adds to the story. So I'm excited to finally read the second volume. I've managed to get my hands on all four so far, and I think the fifth one is coming out in September. And Fantasy Book Addict, and I'll link her channel down below, is the one that put me on to Monstrous. So I'm really excited to get back into this series. It's definitely very complex. It is definitely not a light novel. But Witchy seems like it'll definitely be a lighter novel slash graphic novel. Apparently this is about a kingdom in where witches are powerful if they have long hair, but if their hair is too long, they're considered enemies of the kingdom and they are annihilated, and that is called a witch burning. So this one seems really interesting. The style of artistry seems more cartoonish and just a little lighter than the Monstrous graphic art style, but it still seems like it might be a really good read. I haven't heard much about this actually, to be honest with you, and this was my first time hearing about this graphic novel series in general at all, but I'm excited to dive into it. I think if Owl Crate picked it, it might be a good one. So the next book that I want to read is actually, I think, a new release, and it's called A Song Below Water by Bethany C. Morrow. And this one is actually about sirens. So in this world, the sirens are kept under lock and key and their powers must be secret, but then a siren murder kind of rocks their nation and the main character's magical voice is let loose. And the protagonists are also kind of fighting their own internal struggles, and that would be Tavia and Effie from what I'm reading. I actually ended up buying this on Kindle, so I'll be reading the ebook copy. And it's set in Portland, Oregon. The blurb for the book goes something like this: a captivating modern fantasy about Black mermaids, friendship, and self-discovery set against the challenges of today's racism and sexism. So the synopsis doesn't tell us much, but it seems really intriguing, and I love a good siren story. I haven't actually read any good books about sirens lately, so I am really looking forward to this one. And I've heard rave rave reviews so far, and I'm excited to do my July wrap up just so I can talk about it, but I think it'll be a good one. If any of you guys are reading this or have already read it, please let me know. I think it's still fairly new in the book community. The last book on my list for July is another new release, and it is Incendiary by Zoraida Cordova. This is the Alcrate version. The original version is similar, but this background is blown up. Zoraida Cordova, I discovered her last year as an author because she wrote the Bruja Born series. I haven't read the third one yet, but I think that one's coming out this year maybe. I love her writing. I think she's fantastic, and her characters are always really relatable, so I'm really excited to get my hands on this and get to reading it finally. It's been on my anticipated reads list for this year. So I think for this one, I'm just gonna go ahead and read the synopsis so you can get a vibe of what the story is about. Renata was an only child when she was kidnapped by the king's justice and brought to the luxurious palace of Andalucia. As a memory thief, the rarest and most feared of the magical Maria, Renata was used by the crown to carry out the king's wrath, a siege that resulted in the deaths of thousands of her own people. Now Renata is one of the Whispers, rebel spies working against the crown. The Whispers may have rescued Renata years ago, but she cannot escape their mistrust and hatred, or the overpowering memories of the hundreds of souls she drained during her time in the palace. When Des, the commander of her unit, and the boy she's grown to love, is taken captive by the notorious Principe Dorado, Renata must return to Andalucia and complete Des's top secret mission herself. Can she keep her cover even as she burns for vengeance against the brutal, enigmatic prince? Her life and the fate of Mariah depend on it. But returning to the palace stirs childhood memories long locked away. As Renata grows more deeply embedded in the politics of the royal court, she uncovers a secret in her past that could change the fate of the entire kingdom and end the war that has cost her everything. So this one sounds interesting, and if I know anything about this author, she always makes her characters really relatable, so I can't wait to fall in love and get my heart completely crushed by another one of her characters. So that was it for my July TBR. If you read any of these novels, please let me know, and if you have read any of Zoraida Cordova's previous novels, let me know. I don't know anyone else that has her as a favorite author, but I'd love to hear from anyone that has read her books before. If you liked this, please go ahead and click the like, and please subscribe to my channel. You'll discover more videos like this one. Thank you.